Hey, it's Nina Carmichael, and we make these videos because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get the push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and learn how to beat your fears and achieve the life you want. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Do it anyway.
Everything that you want out of life is on the other side of your fears. Every great thing that you want out of your life, the life you want to create for yourself, for your family, for the community, for the world, the life that your family and you deserve is on the other side of the things that you are afraid to do. And if you never jump into it, if you never address them, if you never do those things, those great ideas that you got inside your head that could change the world, if you never take them on, you'll live your entire life knowing that you were capable of more and that you played small. You might have convinced yourself of all the reasons why you can't do it, but really deep down it's just fear and you played small. And we need to change that in this video. I just came back from doing an event this weekend. It was virtually, where I spoke in front of a couple thousand people. And just before going to speak, my niece was in the other room and she asked me, "Hey, are you nervous? Are you nervous about this speech you're about to give?" I didn't have any slides. I was set to speak for almost an hour. And I had one or two thoughts that I wanted to make sure I got out. And I just wanted to jam with the audience. My favorite thing to do isn't just to give a prepared speech, but to try to bring as much value based off of the people in the room and get their questions and answer them. And so she said, aren't you nervous doing that live with no slides? Like, are you nervous? Like, yeah, I'm nervous. And I do scary things. If you look at your calendar for the next month, look at it. Look at what you've got booked in your next calendar. If there's nothing in there that scares you, I believe that you hate your life. That just means that you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? You're photocopying your life over and over and over and over and over and over. Every day is the same. If there's nothing in your calendar that scares you, everything is the same. People ask me all the time, they message me and say, how do I remove the fear? How do I get rid of all the anxieties? Like, well, you don't all the way. Having too much anxiety, sure, but you don't want a life with no stress, with no anxiety, with no fear. That means you're repeating the same day over and over again. You would hate that life. You'd be bored out of your mind. You'd be bored out of your mind. So you don't want that life. The key is we're not attacking it. We're not addressing it. You're not doing enough to jump into the thing. And so you're just reliving the same fear in your head of what could happen over and over and over and over and over again. The path through fear is through. It's not to play small. Every time you get scared of something and you don't do it, you're teaching yourself to have less self-confidence. If a great idea comes to you, maybe you get a great idea from this video or another video or a book or a friend, you get inspired, a great idea comes to you. And it's a big idea and it's going to require you to grow and be a better version of you, right? And then you don't do it. You play small. You find some excuse, some reason why you can't do it. What you're doing every time that happens, what you're doing is you're teaching yourself that you play small. You're teaching yourself to have less confidence in yourself, less belief in yourself, that you're not capable. You're teaching yourself in these moments every time that you're not capable of doing these things. I'm somebody who can't do this. That's even if you don't say it out loud, that's what you're teaching yourself every time that you play small and you don't do the thing. You need to start to flip it. You need to start to show yourself that you do difficult things, that you take on challenges, that you jump into the fear. Whether it works out or not is not the issue. Whether you get the result or not is not the problem. It's, did you try? Did you put your best effort in? Over the past couple of weeks, I've interviewed Marie Forleo on the channel. We've interviewed Matthew McConaughey on the channel. I've done that big event for a couple thousand people in South Africa. We had Tony Robbins on the channel. And every time leading up to it, I'm scared. Having Marie on, I was scared. Logically, it doesn't make sense. Marie's great. She's a fantastic interview. You don't even have to ask a question and she'll have amazing stories to tell you. She's personable. She's loving. She's kind. She, what's the worst thing that's going to happen on the interview? But logic is not the problem. The problem is the fear, the emotion. I'm worried that she's not going to have fun in the interview. I'm worried that you guys won't like the interview. I'm worried that I won't ask the right questions. I'm worried that I'm going to squander my opportunity. I'm worried that I'm going to kick myself afterwards to say, man, I wish I asked her this question. All of these fears start coming through my mind. When I look at on the calendar, right? Look at your calendar a week ahead and see what's on there. I looked at that and like, ooh, okay, Marie's coming up. I got to make sure that I do a good job. But I don't let the fear stop me. The path through is through. You have to show up. Because what happens is if you don't show up, again, you teach yourself that you suck. On the Matthew one, I had Matthew McConaughey on the channel, and I was super scared for that one because I don't know that much about him. I don't know that much about Matthew. I know more of the entrepreneur world, and I don't know, beyond the acting world, too much of what he's done. So I was more scared than usual even for that one. And I'm preparing and I'm researching and I'm watching his other interviews and I'm trying to find my angle and I'm trying to think about what to do. And again, the usual fears of, I hope his internet is good, because on one interview his internet wasn't very good. I hope I ask good questions. I hope he likes what I'm saying. I hope you guys watch and enjoy, all the usual thoughts. And then he ended up being 5 minutes late. He was 5 minutes late for the interview, and we were on a timeline for it too. And I thought maybe we had a miscommunication. So, the countdown's coming, right? All day I'm nervous. And then whatever time it was, say it was 11 o'clock. I think it was 11 o'clock his time, so 2 o'clock my time. We're counting down to 2 o'clock. And countdown. Okay. 1 o'clock. Oh, God, okay, it's an hour. I'm not being very productive now. Okay, half an hour, 20 minutes, 5 minutes. Oh man, those last 5 minutes. Okay. Last glass of water, last bathroom break. Let's go. We're on in 5 minutes. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's do this. Christina, my editor, probably saw my cameras because I started recording before we started and just see me pacing and going back and forth and scared, trying to practice and remember. And then it's 2 o'clock. Okay, here we are, 2 o'clock. I'm ready to go. Let's go. 2:01, 2:02, 2:03, 2:04. And that may not seem like it's 4 minutes, but those were like the longest 4 minutes of my last 6 months sitting there waiting, because now the thoughts are going, oh my gosh, did he not get the invite? Did it not happen? Are we not on for today? And it immediately goes to, I did all this preparation and practice and anxiety and stress and worry, and we're not even on today? Are you kidding me? Because the only thing worse than doing it is not doing it, right? What's worse than showing up, not showing up? And it's funny how often we want things to get canceled. I used to wish things were canceled on my calendar all the time. I used to wish that things would be canceled, that the person doesn't show up, or like they're sick or whatever, so I wouldn't have to show up and potentially disappoint people. But I've had to lean into that to say, no, I'm here to bring value. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help. And the only thing worse is just not showing up. And how that makes you feel about yourself. That's a worse feeling. The stress of preparing for the interview is not as bad as the energy that you put on yourself if you don't show up. So how do you do it? How do you get through? Well, the two things that really help me are, one, the words scary, difficult, or hard, right? Or seeing a word like fear. But for me, it's more scary, difficult, hard. Those are not acceptable reasons for me to play small. That if you can catch it, that the reason for you not doing your mission, your goal, the thing in front of you, is because you're afraid, it's difficult, it's scary, it's hard, to teach yourself that's not a good enough reason. Not anymore, not for you, not this year. Nope, that may be who you used to be, but not anymore. You're a person becoming. We're taking this on. Not a good enough reason anymore. Scary, difficult, hard. And then two, the thing that helps me is just service, default to service. I'm here to help. Why am I interviewing Marie? Because I want to help. Because I want to help her with her book, and I want to help you. I want to try to get some value out of her, that she says something in a different way that I haven't said before, and maybe that inspires you to take some kind of action. I want to help you. And as soon as I get out of my head, my own selfish head of this is about me and how good I look or how bad I might look, which is more like it, and into service of I'm here with the intention to try to help and serve, that gives me the courage to go do the thing. Because not doing the thing is no longer an option. And when you remove that option and focus on you, do difficult, scary, hard, and you're here to serve and try to help, If you did that consistently and that's how you show up for your daily life, look out. Look out, world. Look out, fantastic life for you. Look out, because you're about to create some amazing things and go actually achieve the life that you deserve.
Rule number 2, fear regret.
You rarely regret the things that you do. It's what you don't do that you regret the most. It's all the missed opportunities, the times you wanted to say yes but were afraid, the moments that you wanted to bet on yourself but you were scared. Those moments, that's what you want to minimize, because it's way better to know and to fail than to never know at all. So I look at my tour as an example. I started 2019 with a tour across 23 cities, 90 days, and it was a big adventure in not regretting my life. It started off as supposed to be a free tour out of coffee shops, and my agent pushed me and said, Evan, this is playing small. My agent, Steve in New York, said, Evan, you're playing small. This is small. This is small time, man. Doing these little free things at coffee shops is small time compared to what you're capable of. You need to charge for the event. You need to book hotel rooms. You need to charge for the event. You need to get people to come out. And the thought just of doing that was already making me scared, because I'm afraid of disappointing people. When it's free, there's no risk, right? I can't disappoint anybody, it's free. But when they're paying to come out, I need to make sure that I deliver. I also thought, maybe, what if nobody shows up, right? What if one person shows up? That's gonna be a massive disappointment. And so I wasn't sure if I'd be able to do it. But the thing that got me through was regret. I don't wanna look back. I don't wanna be 90 and look back and say, I should have done it. I was afraid to bet on myself. I would rather know and fail than not know. And so I did it. Took some convincing, took some time to digest it and eat it, but I said, I'm gonna do it, we'll do it. Then as I started on the tour, the first ones were scary, I was nervous, but then we developed a pattern, a rhythm. Every 4 days I was doing it and got it, and then it became easy. And so I needed to take another step. My next step was, I had an idea. I wanna do Q&A. My favorite part of doing workshops and meeting people is Q&A, because I don't wanna just get up and speak. I want to help. I want to give you practical, tactical advice that can help you in your current situation. I don't want to just get up in front of a room and say the same thing that I would say every time. And so I was even a little slow in starting this, because I had this idea for 2 or 3 cities that I want to start doing it. And I would slowly experiment. And then I was on an Instagram live, and somebody in Sacramento, which was maybe 4 stops ahead of where I was, said, hey, do it in Sacramento. Bring it to Sacramento. Be the first in Sacramento. And that one little piece of validation said, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it in Sacramento. But then it bothered me that I had to wait for validation to then go off and do it. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it in LA, which was my next stop. And so we had 100 people in LA in a hotel room. And I went pure Q&A. And it became the best. It was my favorite stop on the tour. At that point, we had the best interaction, the most high fives, the biggest energy. Not everybody liked it. Some people came to LA as a second stop. They came somewhere else on the tour, and then they came to LA, and they said, I didn't like it as much. And others who came as a second stop said, this is the best format ever, right? You're not gonna please everybody all the time. But I loved it more. I had more energy, and then I brought it to the rest of my tour. But I still was slow. I was thinking about it 2-3 stops prior, and I didn't do it. I didn't have the courage to bet on myself. I was afraid that it wouldn't work out. And so every time I try to catch it a little bit sooner. Then it got easy doing Q&A, and then I broke my neck in Denver. With a month left on the tour, I broke my neck in Denver and had a concussion and compressed my spine and staples in my head and all this stuff, and thought, you know what, I'm gonna keep going. This is now my new chance, because if I don't keep going, I'm gonna regret it. Other people would let me off the hook. Everybody around me saying, go home. My agent thought I was crazy. Go home, take care of yourself. And everybody would have let me off the hook. But I couldn't let myself off the hook. I had to at least see. I'd rather know and fail than not know. I'd rather try to do the next stops. And if it didn't work out, if I couldn't speak because I had a concussion or I was in too much pain to keep going, then I would pull back, but I would know. I would know. And the next stop was in Kansas City, and my wife had to pull me off after an hour and a half because I was done. Like physically, mentally, I was done. She had to yank me out and say, guys, it's over. And then I got up for the next one, and I did the full 3.5 hours, and I kept going. And I was proud of my effort, you know, and I look back like, yes, I'm proud, because if I stopped and I went home, I would have regretted it my whole life. And so this tour became this massive life-changing moment for me, in that first I was afraid to do it because I was afraid to charge, and then I was afraid to go and do pure Q&A, and then was afraid to keep going because I injured myself and thought I wouldn't be able to provide value. And every chance along the way, stepping up and saying, I'm going to do it. And that's where you get the growth. Whatever the thing is in your life that you're afraid of potentially regretting, you have to go do that thing, otherwise you will regret it. So how do you do it? How do you stop living with regrets? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is take the rocking chair test. The rocking chair test is imagine yourself at 90, 95, 100, however long you're gonna live. You're at the end of your life. You're in a rocking chair. It's over. It's done. You can barely remember things. You have dementia. Your body's frail. It's over. You're back, rocking away, sitting on the porch. Your life's about to be over. What are you gonna regret? What are you gonna regret that you didn't do? You didn't go do that tour. You didn't make that phone call. You didn't ask that person out. You didn't make that book deal happen. You didn't make that first video. You didn't do it. You stopped. You were afraid. Because when you're at the end of the life, it's all going to seem trivial. The fears, like, what were you so afraid of? You're afraid of your mom's opinion. You're afraid of some hater on YouTube giving you a negative comment. You're afraid that the book doesn't sell. What are you so afraid of? When you're at the end of your life, those fears are gone. But the regret stays for decades. So what is that thing that you might regret not doing? And then use that pain to push you into action. Take the rocking chair test. Step number 2 is hangnail versus punch. And so when you have a hangnail, it hurts. I kind of have a little hangnail right here. It hurts. You know, if you pick at it, it hurts. It hurts. But then if somebody punches you in the arm, that should hurt. You don't feel this pain anymore because this hurts so much. Right? If you've had that happen, you have a little pain and it bothers you, it's the end of the world, you got something stuck in your teeth, it bothers you, you can't get it out. But then if somebody punches you in the arm, you don't feel the thing in your tooth, you don't feel the hangnail anymore because this thing hurts even more. And so that's how I like to use regret. And you might think that's a little evil or masochistic, but it works. Because the thing that you're afraid of doing is real pain. I don't think you can be unafraid. I think if you're just saying be fearless, then you're only doing things that are in your comfort zone. It's easy to be fearless at things that you're good at, you know how to do. You can be fearless in brushing your teeth. You're not afraid of that because you've done it so many times. But the first time you tried to brush your teeth or the first time you tried to tie your shoes, you were a little afraid that it wouldn't work out, that you'd make a mistake, right? What's the process? Now it's easy for you. Being fearless means you're in your comfort zone forever. I think the fear is real. So how do you get through it? You give yourself a bigger fear, a bigger pain, which is decades of regret, and bring it back to today. That forces you to take action because the future pain is now bigger than the current pain. And third, understand that your fear is not a failure. People aren't afraid of failure. You're afraid of failing in front of other people. You will sing in the shower, but you won't sing on the street corner. Why? Because you're afraid of judgment. You're afraid of how people will see you. You're afraid of what they're gonna say, especially if you suck at the beginning of your journey, you don't know what you're doing. And so understand that the biggest reason why you're not taking action is you're afraid of what other people are gonna think and judge of what you're doing.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below.
And so I think an easy way to do it is actually to start documenting the process along the way.
Find whatever the smallest first step is, and then the smallest next step is, and continue to build those steps. And when you look back, you'll have realized that you made some pretty significant progress.
And what you need to do is inoculate yourself against the judgment and learn to take action on your ideas, because the alternative is a life filled with regret.
Rule number 3, change your mindset.
I'm gonna give you the most important strategy that the next time you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling defeated, you're feeling like giving up, will save you and help you find that inner strength and next gear. Here it is. Tell yourself it's the best. The next time you're feeling down, frustrated, depressed, angry, tell yourself it's the best. Because now this is your chance to show yourself and the world what you're made of. The next time you're stuck at a red light and you're frustrated and complaining, it's the best. The next time you're working out and you feel like you're on your last set and your lungs are on fire and you can't push again, it's the best. The next time you're frustrated in business that you're not getting the sales you need and you feel like you're waking up every day and there's no momentum, it's the best. It's the best. This is your chance. This is your chance. You can complain for 7.5 seconds and get frustrated and then tweak it inside your brain to say, this is the best. Why? What does it do? First, it switches your mindset to one of hopelessness to one of resourcefulness. It switches your mindset from one of hopelessness, that this sucks, that I'm giving up, I'm defeated, it's over. Why does this happen to me? Why does this suck? To one of resourcefulness, that this is the best. This is my chance, because you grow through challenges, and this is the next challenge in front of me that I am going to grow through. Here's an example. I'm on a flight from Vancouver to LA, and the guy next to me stinks. Just stinks. He's probably been on 3 or 4 different layovers, hasn't slept in forever, and just really smells. And I'm sure he's a great guy, but he smelled really badly. And I'm sitting next to him, and it's a full flight. So what are my options? Not make my speaking gig in LA? Just not show up, get off the plane? No. Am I gonna be pissed off the whole time there, and then that's a 5-hour flight, be upset then, and then when I get there, I'm still upset and it ruins my whole day? No, I'm gonna say this is the best. So I complain for 7.5 seconds. This smelly dude next to me, I'm gonna sit next to him for 5 hours. And then what do? Breathe it in. It's the best. Because that smelly guy is not stronger than me. Because I'm teaching myself that I can grow from this. That this is not the edge of my capabilities. That sitting next to some smelly guy for 5 hours is not the edge of my capabilities. I can do more. This is the best. This is my chance to show myself in the world what I'm made of. It's the best. So try to catch it. You won't catch it most of the time. It's okay. You can be gentle on yourself in that part. But when you do catch it, when you catch yourself feeling frustrated, sad, down, depressed, tell yourself this is the best. And what would the strongest, most resilient version of you do? And then go do that thing and become that person.
Rule number 4, find your genius.
I like to say that everybody has Michael Jordan level talent at something. I believe it. I think you have Michael Jordan level talent at something. I think you're a genius, a legit, bona fide genius. You should be off there changing the world. I believe it. I think you have that talent. I think you have that capabilities. Most people don't. Most people, 1, they don't believe in themselves enough to actually go off and chase it. And most people, 2, don't go off and explore to find the thing that they have genius at, that they could be Michael Jordan at, Warren Buffett at. And instead, you try to photocopy somebody else's life. You try to be the next somebody. No, you're a genius. Let's go. Let's chase it down. That's why I'm on my mission. I want to solve the world's biggest problem, untapped human potential. I think everybody is that genius, and they either don't know what the thing is that they should be doing, or they don't believe in themselves hard enough to go and chase it down. So let's work through those 2 things. Whatever camp you fall into, there's going to be advice that will help you. 1, you don't know what you're a genius at. Amazing. What's the path? You explore, you test, you try. People settle way too early in life. You settle. How do you know if you like sushi or not until you taste it? You don't. You should be trying everything. I think everybody should try to be an entrepreneur. Everybody should try to have a YouTube channel. Everybody should try to have a podcast. Everybody should try to be an accountant. Like, you should try. You should pick up everything just to get a sense. Say yes to everything once. Adopt that mindset mentality. We get locked in to career paths way too soon. Why? Because that's what our parents did? Because that's what we went to school for? Why? You're going to now live the rest of your life doing something because you've only tried 5 different things and now you're going to pick? Like, that's a recipe for disaster. That's why 95% of America wakes up and drives to the job that they hate. You have to try. You have to say yes. And don't tie your self-worth to the results. You will suck at the beginning. Whatever you first start doing, you will suck. It will not work out. My first YouTube videos sucked. Go back, watch it, so you can see how bad I was when I first started my videos. I sucked. I was awkward. I was nervous. I was introverted. It took me 350 videos until I wasn't completely embarrassed by myself. 350 videos. And so the acid test needs to be, do you like the process? Do you want to go back and do it again? You may not have been good at it, but do you want to go off and do it again? So like when you go on a first date, Nina's here. Hello, Nina. Hello, Nina. We love you. Her new nails. Nina got her new nails. When you go on a date, when I went on my first date with Nina, the acid test is, do I want to go on a second date? Not, am I going to marry this person? Just, do you want to go back and do it again? Don't put so much pressure that this has to be the thing that works out and is the rest of your life. You won't know. You won't know at first glance. So you need to say yes to a whole bunch of things. When you don't know what you want to do in life, you need to say yes to almost everything. As long as it falls within your personal, values, ethics, you're not harming yourself, most things you should go off and try. I think you should try. I don't think you've tried enough. If you don't know what you want to do in life, you have not tried enough. I'm going to put my phone down on here because my arm is getting tired. You have not tried enough. You have not tried enough, and you need to try more. Next step, if you found the thing, you know what you want to do. You know what you have potential greatness at. You need to believe in that greatness. You need to believe in that greatness. You need to chase it down. And it's hard because maybe nobody in your family has ever done that before, right? Maybe nobody in your family has experienced any kind of background in this before, right? Nobody's done it. So it's hard, but you have to, because otherwise you will live the rest of your life in regret, knowing that you could have done more. You could have been great at something, but you stuck to this crappy job that you hate because it was the safe thing to do. You will hate your entire life if you do not fix this problem. Why am I going so hardcore on YouTube right now? Why am I pushing hard on Instagram too right now? Why do 3 videos a day? Why do 6 posts a day on Instagram? Why? Why? Because I have a window. Because there's a window on your opportunity. Because my window is now. Because this is a magic moment for me with my skills and my interests and my talents and my passions right now in the world of entrepreneurship, in the world of YouTube and Instagram, how it's all coming together. It all fits perfectly for where I'm at right now. And so I have to push hard. You put the blinders on. You put the blinders on and stop looking for other opportunities. It's right in front of you. You know the thing you have to go off and do. Go be great at it. And maybe you have to develop the skills. I had to develop the skills. I am not naturally gifted at this. Go back and watch my old videos. It took me a long time to get good at speaking in front of the camera, speaking in front of an audience, not being afraid, not being always so introverted. It took me a long time to get out of that. But you have to. This is the only way that you win. You want to win. You want to be happy. You want to win the game of life. You want to have a big impact. You want to win as an entrepreneur. This is the only path. You can't just copy somebody else. You can model, you can learn, but you have to figure out what is your circle of competence. You have to figure it out. And then when you find it, you have to go all in. That's it. Those are your only options. Otherwise, you lose. And you'll always know you're capable of more, but you're too afraid to go chase it down. So 1, if you have no idea what you're great at, you have no idea what you want to do, you're not going to think your way through this. You won't figure it out sitting on the couch or watching this video. You're going to get it by going off and doing it. You get an idea, you try it. Idea, try it. Idea, try it. Just say yes. Expect to fail at everything. And just think, do I want to go back and do that again? And if the answer is yes, then you go back and you keep going back and you keep going back, and suddenly you found your passion. And if you found the thing that you know you want to do, you found the thing that you know you have genius in, then you have to believe in yourself, and you have to pound on your craft, and you have to do that thing every single day to develop the talent, to develop your skill, to be amazing at that thing, because that is what you were born to do. You're a genius. You have Warren Buffett talent. You have Michael Jordan level talent, and you have to find it, and you have to own it, and you have to use it to become happy for yourself and to make a difference for the people around you and the world.
Rule number 5, the last one before our very special bonus clip, just do you.
You don't do you because you're afraid of negative judgment. You're afraid of what your family will think. You're afraid of what your friends will think. You're afraid of what total strangers will think. You'll sing in the shower, but you won't sing outside walking down the street. Why? It's not because you're afraid of failing. It's because you're afraid of failing in front of other people. Until you crush that fear of judgment from other people, you will never accomplish the big goals in your life, and today I'm going to show you how. So last weekend I was in Dallas. I was doing a speech at Video Marketing World, which is a fantastic event put on every year in Dallas, where some of the top video creators come to try to help other people who are trying to get started in video marketing, build their business. And I had a really important session at the front, and I was nervous going into it, because I just made a big move on my YouTube channel. My main channel, I split into 8 or 9 multiple different channels. So now instead of just running my main channel, we got channels like this, which is dedicated to its own channel. Now, when I was thinking about doing a move, it was recommended to me by Matt Gielen, who's one of 5 people who I would really listen to for YouTube advice. There's 5 people in the world who said, Evan, you suck on YouTube. Here are the things that you should do to get better, right? I'm at the cutting edge. There's 5 people who I'd listen to. One of them is Matt Gielen, and he told me to split up my channel. Another one of the 5 is Jeremy Vest, and he told me don't do the split up. I've known Jeremy for a number of years. He's helped me a lot. I've helped him a lot. I really respect his opinion. He said, do not split up the channels. It's better to keep them all on one channel. And so I'm faced with the dilemma, which one do I do? And I decided that I'd rather know and fail than not know, that I would rather do it because I know what my channel looks like now, having all the videos on one channel. I know what that looks like. I didn't know what having multiple channels look like, and so I'd rather know and fail than not know. But here's the thing. Why do I tell this story? Because when I'm in Dallas, the person who was putting on the event was Jeremy Vest. The guy who told me not to split up the channels. The guy who said, this is a mistake, you shouldn't do it, you should keep all the videos on one channel. And what did I end up doing? I did the opposite, right? I did what Matt said and not Jeremy. And so I knew this question would come up when I was on stage because everybody there knew that I had split up my channels and was wondering how it would work out. And my default response, as I thought about it, was I don't want to go deep into the story because Jeremy is here in the room and this is his event. He's not just attending, he's hosting it. This is his event. I don't want to make him feel bad. I don't want to make it seem like he's on a spot or that I wouldn't want to listen to his advice because I love him and respect him and I love hearing his perspective. But the fact that I was afraid of it meant that I had to do it. That's something that I've trained myself to do that I want you to train yourself to do as well. That the fact that you are afraid of what somebody else is going to say or think means you have to do it. You have to step into it. You can't teach yourself that when you think of something and you're afraid that you play small. It's better not even to think about it. It's better not to catch your insecurity. When you catch it, you have to train yourself to go off and do it. And then I default to thinking, okay, well, how can I do this in a way that is respectful to Jeremy, that is loving to Jeremy, that I can show people how much I appreciate his feedback, that I don't make him look bad at his own event. How can I do that? And then that question asking leads you to better answers. And so it came up, just like I thought it was gonna come up. And I talked about it, and Jeremy wasn't offended, and Jeremy did not look bad. And I accomplished my objective. And I did it. Made myself feel proud because I was nervous, because I was afraid. And so that's what I want to teach you, that the next time that you're afraid, that the next time you're feeling small, the next time you're worried about somebody else's opinions of you, that you go and you take action, that you do the thing. Because you cannot play small for life. If you are worried about what people think of you, you will never accomplish the big goals in your business because you have big goals. You're an entrepreneur, you want to do amazing things. You have big ambitions. That will never happen if you're afraid of what one person is going to think of you. Because as your vision is bigger, the more people are going to attack you. And you need to develop that thick skin and ask yourself, how can I do it? How can I take my approach with as much caring, compassion, understanding as possible? But I need to get out there and put my message forward. Now, if you're struggling with this, I have a 3-step process I'm going to walk you through that I think will help. Step number 1 is the boom, boom, boom test. So as I was telling that story, you might have seen me tap my chest here, right? This is the boom, boom, boom test. When your heart is going boom, 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 that's a sign to go. It's go time. It's show time. Let's move. We're making this happen. Train yourself that when you feel nervous, scared, your heart's beating out of your chest like this, that you have to step into it and do it. Now, as long as you're not violating your code of ethics, right? We're not gonna steal from somebody because it makes your heart go boom. We're not gonna jump out of an airplane with no parachute because it makes you afraid, right? Don't do something stupid. Most of the things you're afraid of, though, are around other people's judgments, other people's expectations, other people's opinions. That's what mostly causes this. We're afraid of letting people down. We're afraid of looking bad in front of somebody's eyes, right? When you feel that, if you can catch it, because a lot of times you won't catch it, you'll just play small by default. I think we play small by default. But when you do catch it, you teach yourself, I feel my heart beating out of my chest. That means it is go time. Number 2 is understand that it's not fatal. It's not fatal. Whatever the thing is that you're trying to do is not fatal if you make a mistake. Even if I made Jeremy look really bad on stage, right? Even if I went in with love and compassion and I screwed up the whole story, it's still not fatal. I can still make it up to him. I can still go back and show him insane love and apologize, right? It's not fatal. Whatever you're worried about, whatever this judgment is that you're afraid is holding you back because somebody's gonna look at you and say something, it's not fatal. That's not gonna stick with you for life. People move on. You're not that important. That video that you put up that you think everybody's gonna laugh at and say what an embarrassment, tomorrow they're on to something else. Nobody's gonna remember tomorrow, next week, next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years that you made this embarrassing video. But you will remember not doing it. You will remember in 1 day, 1 week, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You will remember in 20 years that you did not take your shot, that you did not do the thing that you wanted to do because you were afraid. You will remember, but nobody else will. You will remember if you don't do it, and nobody else will if you do. You have to do it. You got to step up and tell yourself that this thing, even though it's scary, even though it's making your heart boom, boom, boom like this, it is not fatal. You can recover. And step number 3 is take the pillow test. I need a pillow. Where's the pillow? This is one of my favorite things to do, the pillow test. The pillow test is, you've got this pillow, right? You're gonna sleep at night. This is you at night, sleeping like a baby. I had such a great day. I changed so many lives, sleeping like a baby, right? That's you, okay, great. Before you put your head on the pillow here at night, you have to make yourself proud. And this is something that only you can tell you about. I can't tell you if you should be proud of yourself or not. Your friends, your family, your husband, wife, your kids, nobody else can but you. This is an inside job. Do you feel proud of yourself today for the actions and the effort that you put in? Not the results, the actions and the efforts. You were nervous, you were scared, you did it. Whether you won or not, whether you accomplished or not, I don't care. I care that you did it. I care that you made yourself proud. So tonight, before you put your head on the pillow, before you go to sleep and think about what an amazing life you have, right? Before you do that, ask yourself, did I make myself proud? Did I do something that was scary that made myself proud? And if yes, great, go to sleep. If not, get out of bed and go do something. Send an email, commit to somebody, post something, make a video, something to make yourself feel proud. Because if you woke up every day and sometime during that day, you did something that made you scared, that then made you feel proud of yourself, that when you take the pillow test and sleep tonight, you're proud of the effort you put in, holy cow, I guarantee you're gonna generate some amazing results over the next month, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, rest of your life. If you live your life based off the opinions of other people, you will never do anything great. Take a look at who you're worried about. People who are not happy with their life. People who never went and took their shot. People who spend their life complaining instead of trying to change something. Is that who you want to be so worried about, what they think about your decisions? If anything, you want to do the exact opposite of what they're telling you to do. You don't want their life. So stop living your life by their rules. So I had an amazing one-on-one with an entrepreneur yesterday at my Q&A session here in Toronto that I do weekly. And I feel for her. She's such a talented, amazing, gifted entrepreneur. And we talked about your purpose coming from your pain. And she went through some massive pain that guided her to this success right now and on her path to personal development. But she's afraid to share what happened. And she said, maybe in a year or two, like give me a year to work on it and maybe I'll share it. Because she's afraid of what people will think. She's afraid that if it doesn't work out, that she may not be able to get another job. She's afraid of all these things that people might say about her if they found out the truth. The problem is that's your path. I don't care about where you're at right now. I need to know where you've come from. I need to know that you look like me. I need to know that your story is like mine. And so by living in the shadows and being afraid to tell the truth, what you're doing is one, not letting people connect to you as a real person, right? This fake, perfect version of you isn't something that people can connect to. Two, you make it so that whatever you went through, you're telling yourself that it's shameful, and you're telling other people that it's shameful too. But if you come out and talk about what happened, then the people who feel ashamed about it, they now can come out and say, I'm not the only one. This happens to other people too. I'm a little bit more normal. And three, if you want to build a business, if you want to create a YouTube channel, if you want to have a podcast, you want to be an author, you want to write a book, that's the thing that's going to actually help take you off. That's the thing. There was a great video that I told her about a woman who gained 70 pounds from having a child. So she's pregnant, she gained 70 pounds and she had a 10-pound baby, and now she had 60 pounds of extra fat on her, right? 60 pounds. So that's a lot. And so she's trying to lose it and she's working out and she's eating healthy, and she finally gets down to having 6-pack abs and looking great. And then somebody noticed that when she bent over, that they could see the flaps of skin. When she stood up, it was all 6-pack, but when she bent over, there was flaps of skin. And what most people would have done is deleted that video, pretend like it didn't exist, not talk about that comments, right? Only show the perfect version. Look how much weight I lost. But she did something different. Instead, she said, yeah, that's my body now. That's what happens when you gain 70 pounds in pregnancy and pump out a 10-pound baby. And that became a rallying cry. That one moment of vulnerability, of saying, hey, I'm still not perfect. Like, look at this saggy skin that I still have. That's what brought people to her. Now she's not just another mom who lost weight and did this workout plan and meal plan, right? That connection was real. And now she's built $1 million plus business from selling e-courses and her recipes and everything else that she goes through. That's the thing. This is your competitive advantage. Your purpose, your pain, your story is your competitive advantage. I do not want to learn from you until I know that you've been through what I'm going through. I can't relate to that story, right? I can't tell that story. I can't tell a mom who gained 70 pounds how to lose weight. That's not my story. I can't relate to it. But helping entrepreneurs, I can, because I struggled and I suffered and I was making $300 a month and I was eating the same bean salad lunch every day and I celebrated with only McDonald's French fries because I couldn't afford to buy it. All of it. I struggle with fear and embarrassment and shame. All of it. I know what it's like. I've been through that. And why I do what I do now is because I want to try to make the path a little bit easier for the next generation of entrepreneurs, for you. I want you to feel like you're not alone. I want you to feel like there's a place you can come to with a beautiful community, a Believe Nation, where we're supporting each other. And there's content every single day across multiple channels that you can go and digest and dive into and hopefully make your path just a little bit easier. Because I wish I had this when I was getting started, when I was a 19-year-old entrepreneur who was insecure and ashamed and embarrassed and not willing to talk to anybody about the problems I was going through. Right? That's the thing that will connect people to you. But if you're so afraid of what people's judgments are going to be, you're never going to get started. I believe humans are built to serve. You're built to serve. You want to help other people. It's hardwired into us. Studies show that the impact of serving other people has the same effect on your brain as food and sex. It's hardwired into you. You want to help other people. And at the same time, you're afraid of judgment. So how do you help other people if you're also afraid of judgment? It's having your foot on the gas and a brake at the same time. You know you're capable of more, but then you're just standing on the same spot. It's the worst. And so you have to let go of the opinions of other people. Some people may not like what you're doing. That's okay. That can't prevent you from service. That can't prevent you from fulfilling your mission. That can't prevent you from living the life you want, because you're going to be 95 years old, looking back on your life and regretting it, knowing you're capable of more, but never taking action. So how do you better deal with criticism? I'm going to give you a 3-step process. Step number 1 is have empathy. Have empathy. If you believe like I believe that humans are built to serve, right? We're built to serve. Then if somebody is being critical and negative when they are built to serve, how bad does their life have to be that is forcing them to act this way? How bad does somebody's life have to be to come to your YouTube video and leave a nasty comment, or to tell you to your face that you suck and your idea is never going to work? How bad does their life have to be? So have some empathy. Like, their life sucks. And they're lashing out at not just you, everybody around them. So have empathy. When you have empathy, it removes the sting out of the words. Right now, it doesn't touch you as much because, if anything, you feel sorry for that person. You don't have to say, hey, I feel so sorry for you. You don't need to go and make it worse or have it go on an ego trip. But just know inside, have empathy, feel sorry for them, and not let it hit you as hard when they're giving you some criticism about your idea or you. Number 2 is look for a gem. A lot of times in the criticism, there's actually something you can learn from. A lot of times when somebody criticizes their idea or leaves a nasty comment on YouTube, you might just write it off of that person's being a hater. Maybe they are, but there might be a kernel of truth. There might be some gem in there that you can use. I think a lot of people are too sensitive. I think if you can only take feedback when somebody sugarcoats it and packages it nicely and say, I love you, I love your channel, I love everything you're doing, I love all your ideas, but there's one little tiny thing that I think if you fix would really help. If that's the only way you can take feedback, you're gonna lose. You're gonna get nasty comments, and some of them are just pure haters and it's their own problem. But sometimes buried within that nasty comment is actually a kernel of truth. There's a gem in there for you. And so if you can remove the sting, right? Have empathy, remove the sting, then look at the comment and see, is there anything from this comment? Is there anything in this critique that I can actually learn to make my idea or my concept better? Look for the gem. And then number 3 is addressed to those who are dealing with their parents who might be your biggest critic. Understand that your parents are pilgrims. Your parents are pilgrims. Your parents come from a different era. If you're 20 years old right now, as an example, the opportunities available to you using this are things that your parents at 20 years old can't understand. The opportunities available to you right now are insane compared to what your parents had when they're at your same age. And so when they're saying, go get a safe job, go be a doctor, go be a lawyer, go be an accountant, go do something you can work at some job forever, that's actually their version of love for you, right? That's empathy. Empathy, step into their shoes. They love you. Chances are your parents love you. I hope. But chances are they do. And so they're trying to give you advice that they would have given themselves X number of years ago back when they were your age. They just don't understand what's available right now. A lot of times, a lot of the people who are critiquing you, criticizing you, it may be out of love. They just don't understand the path that you see. They don't understand the world that we're living in right now. They don't understand everything that can be created. And so have that empathy for them. Understand that that's where they're coming from. They love you. And again, removes the sting out of the words. And then you can see, how do you want to act? How do you want to react to these people around you that would make you feel proud? Whatever that is in your head, then go and do it. Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome.
If you want to learn how to alter your limiting beliefs, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
And for you to get different results than you're getting right now in your life, you're going to have to change your perspective on one or more of your beliefs. So this topic makes me think about my favorite comment of all time.